Well, spring is slowly beginning to show itself. Temperatures are occasionally hitting the low to mid 50s Fahrenheit, and the snow is really melting off. I hope to start uploading progress videos in the very near future. To catch you up to speed, I'll overview what we've done and where we are to date. The car is a 1961 Renault 4CV, and it sat in a garage for about the last 40 years. We put air in the tires and pulled it out of the garage, and it was really surprising that those old tires and tubes held air. We tried to assess the condition and locate any missing parts that might also be in the garage. Finally, the car was scheduled for transport to its current location. When the car reached its destination, the transport driver did mention that several people were trying to figure out what the car was on its journey up there. The 4CV isn't a car that most Americans are familiar with. I know I wasn't. And if you're not familiar with the 4CV, I'll give you a little overview. The car is French and was built between 1947 and 1961. The car was designed in secrecy during the Nazi occupation of France, and the original cars were painted with surplus German military vehicle paint. The car came with a 760cc engine that was later changed to 740 cc's, producing 17 horsepower when mated to the 3-speed manual transmission. At the time in France, automobiles were taxed based upon the horsepower. So post-war automobiles with low horsepower and correspondingly lower taxes were preferred. Nevertheless, the 4CV went on to become the first French car to reach 1 million units sold. The car is now in a new garage. It's interesting to note that the lawnmower in this particular picture has more horsepower than the car itself. So we proceeded to give the car a quick cleanup and remove the front and rear seats. We then lifted the rear of the car with jack stands and carefully lowered the engine, radiator, and transaxle out the bottom of the car. Then we removed the radiator from the assembly and separated the engine from the transaxle. We started to tear down the transaxle and motor for cleanup and inspection. We already know that we have a broken rocker arm and a piston that will need replaced and resleeved. The last work we did, we ran into a very stubborn bolt on the piston arm, which would be the connecting rod. This will likely be our first task of the spring, so we can further disassemble the engine. And I plan to finish the teardown of the transaxle and start the rebuild of that. Well, that basically brings you up to where we are today. Be sure to follow our progress when we start posting the real videos. We'll likely be asking questions too, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to keep up with our progress.